Okay, Shalom Aleichem, a good vach. We're here with the weekly Dvar Malchus shir, the shir that we have according to the order that we have been following, the order from the beginning of the Dvar Malchus. We're here at Parashas Emor. This week is the Parasha of Bamidbar. Let's not get mixed up. Bamidbar is the Parasha that always is the pre-Parasha before Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah at Har Sinai during the holiday of Shavuos. So first and foremost, as a hachona, as a preparation to the receiving of the Torah, we want to bless everyone with Kabbalas Torah besimcha ubepnimis, the receiving of the Torah with joy and inwardness. That when that we should be, that the holiday of Shavuos should change us for the good, as we enter Shavuos. And as we exit Shavuos after receiving the Torah again, from new again, we should be totally renewed with great energies, spiritual, material energies, health, and everything that we need in order to serve Hashem and to bring Mashiach immediately now. As we were saying, in the hard copy, we're in Parashas Emor, page 143. In the PDF file, we're on page 2, and we'll begin. Emor, Mesichas Shabbos Parshas Emor, Chof Iyar, the 20th of Iyar, Hatinose 5751. That was 1991, and this was the Sicha that was translated and edited from Yiddish, translated into Hebrew and edited by the Rebbe. Behemshech Bamidbar al Dvar inyan hageula, in continuation of what was said in regard to the redemption, Melech Shamila geula isias gola, that the word geula, which are the letters of the word gola meaning exile, b'tesefes aleph, with the addition of the letter aleph, mevateses teichen hageula, expresses the content of the redemption. Yeser mishar dalid hey halashonos shel geula, more than the other 4 or even 5 expressions of the redemption. Aleph hageula dechol inyane hagolus, the redemption from all the concepts of exile, goila. Geula lo shaleles es ha'aveda bagolus, the redemption does not negate our service during the time of exile. But it includes and it elevates the exile. By entering and revealing the letter Aleph, which connotates the champion of the universe, Hashem, Ba'agoyla, in the exile. Kadosh Baruch Hu habalabais umanhiges kol inyonei ha'elam gam begolus. How Hashem, the Holy One, blessed be He, is in charge and is running all the matters of the world during the exile. Base habgeula naases al yedei ha'avoda, the redemption is carried out through the service bagolus, through our service in exile. Just as the word redemption is made up of the and the majority of its letters are oisias goyla, the letters of the word goyla, which is in Hebrew also means exile. Ella b'tesefes aleph, but with the exception that there is the additional letter aleph inside the word. Nisakev al eid kama nekudas bazeh, will dwell upon a few more points in regard to this. And this will add a greater explanation in regard to the service that the children of Israel need to do, to carry out, standing at the eve of the redemption. Ois base. Letter base. As achidush shel geula, the novelty of redemption, ha'isaf v'gilui aleph b'geula, the addition and the revelation of the letter aleph in the word geula, or in exile, during exile, ovishnei ha'inyonim haniskarim le'el, and in the two concepts that were mentioned above, re'em miyad, we see immediately, b'geula rishona, in the first redemption, u'makar d'chol ha'geulos, and the source of all redemptions, Geulas Mitzrayim, the redemption from Egypt. Hageula his bat obazeh, the redemption was expressed through Shenoisef al zeh shekol bnei Yisrael yotzum miMitzrayim, that in addition to the fact that all the children of Israel had their exodus from Egypt, bin arenu v'iskanenu, with our lads and with our elderly, gamer bevanenu v'ibnosenu, with our boys and with our girls, uvishleimus, and in a manner of completion, v'im kol hachavtzehem, and with all their objects, al derech mashakosov, similar to that which is written, kaspam uzhavam itam, that their silver and their gold was with them. Hem lokhu v'galu itam, they took and they redeemed with them. Games ha'inyonim de goyla, also the concepts of exile, golus Mitzrayim, the exile of Egypt. Vayishalu miMitzrayim klei chesef u'klei zav u'smalois gomer, and they borrowed from Egypt their vessels of silver and their vessels of gold and their gowns. Vayinatzlu v'roikinu, and they took advantage, or they emptied es Mitzrayim, the land of Egypt. She'asauha kimitzuda she'ein ba dagan, they made it as a silo that had no wheat in it, kimitzula she'ein ba dagim, and as a net that had no fish in it. V'chein v'gam erev rav oloitam, and in addition to this, we also see that there was a great multitude that also left Egypt and went up with them on the way to receive the Torah at Mount Sinai. Kloimar, in other words, that the redemption was not only an exodus from Egypt, but it was also a redemption of Egypt, which represents the exile itself. Al Yedeach Nosas V'Gilui Ha'alef, through the inserting and the revelation of the letter Aleph, Aluf Shalolam, the champion of the universe, B'inyonei Hagolus, in the concepts of exile, Tachlis Brias Ha'udvorim Elu, which is the goal of the creation of these matters, Al Yedei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by the Holy One, blessed be He, Unesanosam leMitzrayim, and the giving of these matters to Egypt, B'chdei sheBnei Yisrael Yevaru Esam, in order that the Jewish nation will sift them Al Yedei, through Vayinatzlu es Mitzrayim, that they took advantage, or they emptied Egypt, Shal Yedei Zeh Yiskayim, and through this they will be fulfilled, V'achreichen Yetzu B'rechush Godol, that afterwards they will leave Egypt with great possessions. Ad Sheva Hashem Nasan Eschein Ha'am B'nei Mitzrayim Vayash Ilum, to the extent that Hashem gave the favor of the nation in the eyes of the Egyptians, and they, the Egyptians, borrowed anything and everything that the Jewish nation asked for, the children of Israel asked for, even those things that the children of Israel did not ask of them, they gave to the Jewish nation. Hamitzrim be'atzmam, and these were the Egyptians themselves, from their own accord. They gave to the Jewish nation before the exodus from Egypt. And furthermore, it teaches us that the Egyptians borrowed borrowed their possessions to the Jewish nation against their free will, against the free will of the Jews. And Baal Korcham di Yisrael, against the free will of the Jewish nation. Shelichura, for at first glance the Rebbe says, Aleph, first of all, l'shema miharu, what was their rush? Hamitzrim loses mikleim chulu, what was the rush of the Egyptians to give from their vessels and from their possessions, etc. Hefech teva ha'adam, which is the opposite of the nature of a human being, let alone the Egyptians that we're talking about. They enslaved the Jews for 210 years. Beis, second of all, hatzivui, the commandment, vayish'alu ish me'esre'eu gemer, that one person asked to borrow from their fellow person, from their fellow Egyptian. Nemar livnei Yisrael, this commandment was told to the children of Israel. Leila Mitzrim, and not to the Egyptians. So what was their whole concept of forcing, as we said, the Jews to borrow their possessions? Gimel, third of all, La'achrei she'akadosh baruch hu shovar es Mitzrayim al yedei eser Malchus, after the Holy One, blessed be He, literally broke the Egyptians after the 10 plagues. Lama kan pisei magisha shel Mitzrayim hi. Why is it that here, all of a sudden, the relationship of the Egyptians is shevayish alu mi Mitzrayim gemer, that they asked from Egypt. V'Hashem nosan eschen ha'am beinei Mitzrayim vayish alum. In the process of the fulfillment of the commandment that Hashem commanded us to borrow the gold, silver vessels and the gowns from the Egyptians, Hashem makes another miracle, which seems to be totally not in place. Hashem goes and gives the favor of the nation in the eyes of the Egyptians, and then the Egyptians went and borrowed everything that the Jews asked for. And it was not done in a manner, in a process of breaking the backbone of the and the stubbornness of the Egyptians. But since the definition of the word exile is gam, also hagiula v'aliyah shel Mitzrayim, the redemption and the elevation of Egypt itself, goyla, the exile, atzma itself, al yedei ha'akora sh'akadosh baruch hu alufa shel olam, through the fact that there is a recognition that the Holy One, blessed be He, is the champion of the universe, umani yisolam, and He is the master of the universe. V'hamitzrim biyesam kama mihem, and the Egyptians, since there were quite a few of them, chachomim, that were wise, hevinu v'yergishu, they understood and they felt this safe, finally. Ve'elu sheloi chazu, and those that did not see this, harei mazalayu chazu, their neshama, their spiritual counterpart, did see this. Mazolam ra'ah. V'yodu Mitzrayim ki ani Hashem, and the Egyptians will know and knew that I am Hashem. L'chen zaya tzarich lehases, and therefore it had to be done. Uvefeil nasa, and in actuality, this is the way that it was carried out. Leibal krocham shel Mitzrim, not against the free will of the Egyptians, ela birtzeinam, but with their desire. In addition to the action of the children of Israel in regard to this, in a manner that they did borrow them, their vessels and gowns, and also that Hashem gave the favor of the nation of Israel in the eyes of the Egyptians. noisnim lehem, to the extent that even those things that they didn't ask, that the Jewish nation did not ask for, the Egyptians would give them. They gave them. Ve'ad bal korcham shel Yisrael, and like we said earlier, to the extent that it was against their free will, against the free will of the Jews, whether they liked it or not, they forced them to take those things that they wanted to give them. The Egyptians wanted to give the Jewish nation. And similar to this, we see in this the second concept that is mentioned above in regard to the Geula, in regard to the redemption. That this is the Geula, redemption comes from the word Goyla b'tosefes Aleph, the concept of exile with the addition of the letter Aleph. Dafka al yedei hayirida begolus Mitzrayim, specifically through the descent into the Egyptian exile. Va'avadum ve'inuesam, like it states in the Bris Ben Abasorim that Hashem told Avraham Avinu that they will have them serve. They will have the Jewish nation serve them, the Egyptians, the inosam, and they will torture them. The Egyptians will torture Rahman Litzlan, the Jewish nation. Nifala aliyas gadlus ugeulas Mitzrayim. There was activated the ascent or the uplifting, the greatness of, and the Geula, the redemption of Egypt itself. In a manner that afterwards they will leave Egypt with great possessions. For as we know, the Rebbe says that if our forefathers would not descend into Egypt, they would not receive and elevate as haklei chesef uchlei zav usmales the Mitzrayim. They would have not been elevated the vessels of silver and gold and gowns of the Egyptians. And from this it is also understood in regard to all the redemptions, the upcoming redemptions that come after the redemption from Egypt, which are similar, and their source is from the redemption from Egypt, to the point of the true and the complete redemption, upon which it states, as in the days that you left the land of Egypt, I will show you wonders in the future. Shehi nikres geula, that this is called redemption, kevan shetochnahu, since its content is aleph. First of all, ligel, to redeem, lahales esinyone hagoyla, to elevate the concepts of exile, al yedei zeh megalim bahem es ha'alufa shel olam, through the fact that we reveal in them, in the concepts of exile, the alufa shel olam, the champion of the universe, the base, and second of all, dafka al yedei ha'avoda bagoyla, it is specifically through the service of the Jewish nation in exile, magia ha'geula, comes and arrives the redemption. And here we will go out for recess until next week's shir, and we will definitely have the Geula Shlema Vamitis on a good and revealed basis. Teichef Miyad Mamish, Yechi Adonenu Moreinu V'Rabbeinu HaMelech HaMoshiach Leilam Voed, immediately now. Kol Tuf B'Seres Tevis, Moshiach now.